brownies are good. Wine is good. Like sleeping in is good. There's just a difference between, are you doing those things 7 days a week?
Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, a Core 4 parenting podcast blending soul and science-based strategies to empower pandemic moms like you, raising kindergarten-ready kids. I'm Cara Tyrrell, your host, a lifetime lover of littles, girl mom, early childhood educator, and conscious parenting coach who truly believes that how we connect and collaborate with our kids in the first 5 years is how we raise world-ready kids who will change this world.
Today's guest is pretty cool. Natalie Schwartz is here. She is a mama who moves her body every single day, and she's going to help us feel inspired to do the same thing, regardless of how many kids we have and how old they are. She's a certified holistic health coach in pre and postnatal fitness. And get this, she has 3 kids, and 2 of them are COVID kids. So let's take some inspiration and just a little bit of action as we listen to Natalie talk to us about fitness, health, and nutrition. Natalie, you are a busy mom. You have a 7-month-old, a 3.5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And here you are finding time to guest on the show. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. And thank you for being flexible. You guys, it's a weekend and my husband is watching all of them. So that is how this is happening. Yes, my hands are full for sure.
All right, well, get ready to get your mind's blown out there, mamas, because this is not all. Natalie doesn't just have 3 kids who she stays home with. She also prioritizes herself and her wellness and her health. Well, you can't see her because this is a podcast, but definitely check out our page when it goes live because her profile picture shows just how much she prioritizes her health.
Oh my gosh,
Natalie,
you're very
you are
sweet.
So good at this. Tell us more about your background as a holistic health coach. What does that mean to you?
Okay, so about, like a decade ago, I got certified as a holistic health coach. And then after I had my first son, I got certified for pre and postnatal fitness. And for me, it's just, I've really felt this deep internal calling that I wanted to just help people get healthy and shift their lifestyle because so much disease and so many things that go wrong in today's day and age are related to the foods that we eat and the lack of movement in our lives. And I lost one of my really good girlfriends to cancer in my 20s. And I just really sort of became, I want to say obsessed, and I want that to come in a healthy way, but like obsessed with like living a healthy lifestyle and learning about the effects of food on the body and different things like that. And I just fell in love with wanting to serve people in that way and share with them how you can show up so differently in your life by just making small changes.
What you just said about making that internal shift is so, so important. When I had little kids, and I never just had my own, right? I was running a daycare, so I had everybody's kids,
Yes.
or I became a nanny, or I was teaching, so I was in a classroom with all the kids. I never made that shift. Their needs always came before mine. I woke up every day saying, wouldn't it be nice if today was the day that I prioritized my healthy breakfast, or I made sure that I got my body to move for 20 minutes, but wouldn't it be nice? And actually doing it as a mom with young kids were 2 very different things.
And this is a theme I see so often. And I think it's just innate within us as mothers is that we show up to put everyone else first. It is so very rare that we wake up and say, how can I choose me today? Or I am going to choose me today, because we are giving. And so I think that that's honestly one of the biggest sort of mindset unlocks or mindset shifts that there are. So I always tell my clients, or I tell the ladies in all the moms in my wellness membership, there is this higher version of you. She is always right there. Like, I want you to envision, like, if you saw your highest version of yourself walking down the street, like, what does she look like? How much energy does she have to play with her kids? Like, what is her vibe? Like, what is her confidence? What does her body look like? How does she feel in her body? And that version of you is waiting for you to step into her shoes and claim her. You have to show up and choose her each and every day. And I think that as moms, we feel guilt. We feel guilt for putting ourselves first, or putting on a show for 20 minutes so we can do a workout at home. Like, there's this guilt there. And I would invite the moms to flip the script and say, when I choose me, when I step into that higher version of me, I show up better as a mom. I show up better as a wife or a spouse or a partner, as a friend, as a colleague, right? Because we are meeting ourselves at the deepest level. And that is through wellness. That is through movement and exercise. That's through eating healthy, real foods. And so I think that is the hardest thing to do, is to choose you, but you have to. And it's not selfish.
It is the hardest thing to do. And let me basically give everybody a life in a minute. So my kids are 18 and 20. Mm-hmm. So those years of their toddlerhood where I was just referencing, where it was so important to be so busy for them that putting myself on the back burner was an okay thing to do. Mm-hmm. Guess what? That's not my reality anymore. They are self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. And guess who is still not putting herself first? Now, my business gets my attention before my exercise routine does, mm-hmm. right? If we are servers, if we are moms who are also servers and people pleasers, mm-hmm. we will always find something else to take that place. Mm-hmm. And so I'm working really hard at it, but one teeny nugget of change at a time.
Yes. And also there's sort of this idea with diet culture out there, or this sort of philosophy or this mindset that when we're trying to either lose weight or make healthy choices, that there's this rigidity, right? There's this rigidness that needs to happen. And like, I need to lose weight. So I'm going to go on a diet, or I'm going to work out every day. And then the one day that we fall off or we don't stick to it, we sort of throw in the towel, right? Like, oh, screw it. Well, I ate brownies last night, so my diet's just over. Like, I don't have the self-control, or this just isn't meant for me, or we make up sort of these excuses. And honestly, I want everyone to understand that the mindset shift there, it's the dialogue that's happening in between your two ears, right? It's sort of this human preservation, because it's the fear of self-disappointment. Who out there loves to feel disappointed in themselves, right? Probably nobody is raising their hand, because that is a feeling that we want to avoid. So if we've tried a workout routine, or we've tried to eat healthy and sort of fallen off, at a deep subconscious level, we are associating trying that again with disappointing ourselves. So we avoid it, and we make up excuses why we can't.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. So, okay, everybody, check this out. I did Natalie's challenge. I can't remember what month I did it, but it was a while back. February, thank you. Way back in February, I did her healthy challenge, and I was like all in. It was awesome. I was doing the healthy breakfast. I remembered how much I loved my mini dance workouts. I was like, oh, that's how I do this. Great. So then on the heels of your challenge, I got myself one of those apps on my phone that has dance workouts. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't do them. And then I didn't do them some more. And then one day I woke up and I was like, this is so stupid. I paid for this. I'm doing this, right? Okay, so there's the energy input was my money. And I opened up the app and it wanted me to download them all to my phone. And I was like, nope,
this isn't happening because I'm not using all that storage on my phone. I found a fantastic, in my case, what I thought was a reasonable excuse to once again walk away from the thing that I was committing to. So you're right. Our self-talk and our habits and our opportunities to get out in front of it and just cut ourselves off, we do it repeatedly.
Yes. And I think the biggest thing too, I know I keep saying the biggest thing because these are all so important, but is to understand that your wellness journey or your weight loss journey, whichever it is, or if it's a combo of both, is not going to look perfect. You are going to quote unquote fall off the wagon once in a while, or you are going to miss a day where you're working out, but that's okay. What happens is you recognize, hey, I'm a grown woman, I'm an adult, and I missed my workout yesterday. You know what? Okay, that happened. I had fun. I played hooky. And now tomorrow I'm going to get back on my routine and keep it going. That's where so many people fall off, is in that moment of like, oh, I didn't stick to it. I'm no good at this. We start to do all of that negative self-talk. And then we make excuses for why we can't. But be okay with it not looking perfect. Be okay with showing up imperfectly for yourself. And just know that working out and eating good is a lifelong. It's not a 30 days, I'm losing 10 pounds before Cabo, right? It's a lifelong journey that we are on, and that it's not going to be perfect. So release that. And just know that if you fall off one day, okay, no big deal. Life is meant to be well lived. Brownies are good. Wine is good. Like sleeping in is good. There's just a difference between, are you doing those things 7 days a week? So I want people to sort of release this need or this mindset of like, it has to be so strict. It doesn't need to be that way.
Oh, you are so motivating all of us right now. Everyone who's listening, I'm sure, is just nodding their head and saying, thank you. Thank you for the permission to know that I'm a human being who's raising a bunch of tiny human beings, and it's okay that I'm not perfect, and I don't hold them accountable to be perfect. Yes. So let's talk about the food piece, because that is really important. And anyone who follows me on Instagram has been seeing that my daughter has been doing some meal prep for me. Mm-hmm. She actually believes so strongly in what needs to be my health journey, even more than I do on most days. She is doing this for me, and I'm so grateful for that way in.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, you two would get along great. She is doing this for me. So I found that with meal prep, with the ability to just grab that lunch that's ready to go every day, even though it's the same thing every day, I'm actually consuming it and my energy level's going up. Is that something you do? Are you a meal prepper?
I want to say that I am, but if I'm being truthful, I'm not, because I enjoy cooking and I enjoy making stuff on the fly. So I just stock the fridge with real food. We buy minimal processed stuff. And so we eat through our fridge for the week, and then we have to go and replenish it. Like, we don't just have an extended thing. So I know that it's going to go bad in that week. And so I just make it. But I do think for people, meal prepping is something that is necessary if you are somebody who doesn't enjoy cooking or doesn't have the time to just throw something healthy together, or maybe have the knowledge of that. And so I do have, in all of my meal plans, I always have a meal prepping component and how to prep stuff for the week and different ways you can batch stuff. And I do think that that's super helpful for people, because like you just said, if it's already done for me and I just have to grab it out and put dressing on it, or grab it out and heat it up, you're going to more likely 9 times out of 10 make the healthier choice by eating something that's already ready. So I would recommend it for sure for people. And it's like, put on a podcast or put on a show and just say, okay, I'm going to designate an hour to just prepping stuff in the kitchen on Sunday. So then my week is set up for me.
Yeah. If she's so good at that, it's amazing to watch that journey happening. And I feel so inspired by you and by her. I'm going to get you back to this amazing conversation, but I just wanted to take a minute and thank all the conscious moms who took time and energy out of their day to join me for the Transforming Your Triggers workshop. We shared space, we shared connection, we started some massive transformation just in those 60 minutes. So I am thrilled to share with you that the doors to the full program are open. Are you ready to transform the toddler years with my soul and science-based collaborative parenting methodology? We'll explore the magic of mindset, the power of perspective, and take a peek inside your child's brain. We will learn how to use language intentionally, and you'll graduate with a personalized parenting toolkit stocked with science-based strategies that work for who you are, who your child is, and the beautiful home environment you are designing. I would love to have you in this live program where we see each other, hear each other, engage with each other, and transform together. We start on Wednesday, September 20th, but the doors are open right now, and so is the pay in full bonus. Just go to caratyrrell.com/transform or use the link in the show notes to enroll. I am all in for the transformation that will allow you to step deeply into your desire to be conscious, intentional, and collaborative as a parent. Create the relationship with your child as an anchor for every stage and phase that comes from now until teenagehood. And I'm all in to help you manage your daily struggles and turn them into successes as you raise world-ready kids who will change the world. How do your kids interpret what you're doing? I'm so curious to see it through their eyes. Mom who is always moving her body, mom who is grabbing that whole food out of the refrigerator. And how do you talk to them about their food journey and their exercise? Because you're such a great model.
So I work out every day with my kids at home. So they are seeing me work out. They see me recording workouts from my membership community. You know, my 3-year-old, we were in the basement where I have more, fun workout equipment to mess around with. And he, I'm working out and we have a TV down there. So I'll put on a show for him or he'll come over with me and he goes, Mom, I need a booty band. And I go, oh my God. It just cracked me up in that moment because he knows these phrases, because your kids are going to model what they see. So if you're showing them that health and wellness is important to you and you prioritize that, they're also going to know that that's something that's important to do. And we get out for walks every day. I always say we have to go move our bodies, to get our exercise in. So the kids are on their scooters. And so I love, as a mom, not being able to leave the house and go to the gym where I would plop them in the daycare. And no shame if that is your vibe, because some of us need a break, but it's like, that's not my season of life with like a new baby and a toddler and the 7-year-old home from school. I work out in front of them and they know like, oh, mom's doing her workouts. And they model it. They want to get involved with it. They're lifting the little tiny dumbbell up or playing with the exercise band. And so I think that that's really fun because it's a healthy habit that they're seeing me do daily. And the same with food too. It's like, and they're kids, and moving to the Midwest from living in California is a completely different vibe. And so sometimes, I'm more triggered with food choices that are out and present for them, but try to have a little bit of release. I grew up on cinnamon crunch toast. Is that right? Or did I say that wrong? Now I'm confused. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like those kinds of cereals. And my mom was a single mom, so lots of frozen food, and I turned out okay. So I know it won't be the end of the world if their grandparents buy them a Blizzard. I'm secretly panicking, but no, if they're hungry at home, it's fruit. Do you want an apple? Do you want a banana? Do you want grapes? Like it's something like that. So they have a good idea of what's healthy. And I try to explain to them the power of food. Like we eat this because it has fiber, which makes us feel full. And it's got all of these vitamins and nutrients, which make us strong and makes our bodies work really good. You know, and I have boys. So anything that like makes you feel strong or like a superhero, they eat all that stuff up.
Literally.
Literally. Fantastic. I know.
You said a couple of things that I really want to pull out because they're so powerful. One is this idea of other people being allowed and having permission to treat your kids when that's not their normal way of life at home. And I just think it's really important to say that again, because what happens inside of our nuclear family doesn't have to be what happens outside in our extended families. And we're allowed to talk about that too. At Grammy's house, sometimes XYZ, you just know that's not what we do at home. But can you talk about, because you started this conversation about your friend and your loss and understanding that a lot of our maladies we bring on ourselves by the way we treat our bodies and the food we put in it, cancer notwithstanding. But kids and sugar. Can you talk for a second about how modeling this for them, like, does their behavior change significantly? Are they more in control of their bodies and their emotions when they're on a low or no sugar diet?
Absolutely. Sugar is like, you know, I mean, you imagine it, you know, like you're giving your kid this dose of sugar. It's going straight to them, you know, just like a real drug does. And their bodies are way more dysregulated. Their moods, their emotions are dysregulated. And so I think that, you know, we obviously at home try to do no processed sugar really in anything. But yes, having the sugar with the kids, you can definitely see a shift. You know, that's why they say, oh, so-and-so has a sugar rush. They're running around crazy because it's dysregulating. It's dysregulating to their bodies. And it's also just not good for their little gut system. You know, all of their little things that are growing and processing, sugar is not good for. And the same, you know, for adults. I wish that I could say, oh, a little bit of sugar is great for you. And obviously they're going to get a little bit of sugar here and there. Like you said, at the grandparents' house or, you know, it's unrealistic to think that they would never, but I think it's important to show or to have available snacks and different foods for them that aren't sugar forward.
Yeah. And you said something else that really got me thinking. You said the word habit. And I know this is a thing for you, right? You work really hard on healthy habits. You work really hard on these mindset shifts becoming habitual in the way that we are thinking. So if someone is listening and saying, yes, this all sounds fantastic, but honestly, just a little overwhelming for my season of life right now, what is one healthy mindset shift habit that you would want them doing every day to start their journey?
I would say it would be to stop viewing working out as a form of punishment and instead view it as a form of self-care. Because oftentimes we look in the mirror and we aren't in love with the body that we see looking back at us, right? We've all had kids. I've had 3. My belly button's never going to be the same. You know, like some things look differently. Or maybe we've had kids a long time ago and we're still sort of struggling with this. And we're looking in the mirror going, I don't like this, or I want this to change. So I have to work out. I have to work out to like lose weight, or I have to work out to get skinny, or I have to work out for something. And then we sort of develop this relationship that working out is punishment, or eating healthy is punishment for a body that we don't love right now. So we have to eat healthy so we can lose the weight, which will make us then think that we'll feel better. So it's really viewing working out and eating healthy, not as a form of punishment, but as a form of self-care. It's I get to, not I have to. I get to work out and move my body so that my cortisol, so that my stress can come down and I can show up a little bit more patient in this hectic time of life where maybe the season is I've got toddlers at home and it's wild. And the idea of like eating super healthy every day and working out every day is overwhelming. Just start with that mindset shift of I get to do this versus I have to. And I would pick 2 days a week. Start there, start super small and say, okay, I get to pick 2 days this week that I'm going to move my body in a way that feels good for me.
Wow.
And then you can add on.
That does sound doable, doesn't it?
Yes.
Wow. All right. So I want to wrap up with one final question, which may be kind of tricky.
Okay.
But I know there are people in my world that are going to want to know the answer.
Okay.
Eating healthy, eating raw foods, stocking your fridge every week, working through it, that can be an expensive proposition. If you're working on a smaller budget, but you really want to make a couple good shifts right out of the gate, that's for yourself and your kids, what can we do?
Well, 2 things. I always tell people, buy the worst toilet paper, buy the crappier toilet paper and buy the organic bananas, or that's like my give and take, right? It's like, buy that stuff on the cheap and then put that extra, dollar or two towards the produce. Look, I feel you. We have 3 kids and my husband and I, and our 2 boys eat like they're teenagers and they're 7 and 3. I mean, Tommy was 9.5 pounds when he was born and he is just on this trajectory of being a massive human, so I get that. And I feel that at the checkout stand when we grocery shop. So I think the biggest thing is to focus on foods that are going to fill you up, which is going to be protein and fiber, right? We have this idea of like, oh, my kids are hungry, I'm going to toss them some goldfish or some chips. Well, there's no fiber. The nutrients have been stripped from those foods. So they're going to ingest it, but then their body's going to tell them they're hungry a little bit later, and you're going to end up feeding them more. So eating an apple or a banana or carrot sticks with hummus is actually going to fill them up faster and keep them satiated. So I would say try to, really get curious or adventurous with having fresh fruits and vegetables available for them at home. And if you can't buy organic, I'd rather you just buy them than not buy them at all. I think that is, important. And then I love a Trader Joe's. We shop at Trader Joe's and you can get a bag of organic gluten-free pasta for $2 or $3. You can get produce on the cheap there. It's not like we don't shop at Whole Foods, for all of our groceries. That's not sustainable for the majority of Americans. So I think just being mindful of some of those little deals and then having that real food available in terms of fruits and vegetables is going to actually keep everybody fuller.
I love it. And I love being proven wrong. That was not tricky question for you at all. But you had 2 unbelievable tips for us. So thank you so much, Natalie, for again sharing your time and space with us and your knowledge and expertise. Is there anything else that you really want people to know before you share with them what you're up to and where you are online?
I think the biggest thing is just to not feel, I know it's impossible sometimes to not feel overwhelmed, but to know that it's not a quick fix. It is a journey that's a lifestyle, and truly creating a lifestyle shift takes time. So have patience with yourself and have the grace and know that we are literally, you and I, in this season of motherhood where we have toddlers and small people at home is a little bit crazy, and that's okay. But showing up imperfectly is better than showing up not at all. So do the best you can with what you have And you've got this. You've got this. It's totally doable.
Well, that totally segues perfectly into the fact that isolation and motherhood do not go together. We learned this the hard way during the pandemic. We have always known this. And so community is something that we need to seek. I call it a village, my virtual village, right? You get to choose the people that you surround yourself with so that you feel uplifted. Tell us about the community that you're building and where people can find you online.
Oh, thank you. So I have created an online wellness membership for moms. It is on-demand workouts that can be done in 20 minutes or less. You guys, I gained 52 pounds with my last pregnancy. I'm 36. It's my third baby. And I have completely changed my body doing 20-minute workouts a day. I think, I was used to be in the mindset of like, you need to work out for 45 minutes. Cardio needs to be 30 minutes of that, like all of this. And you can build strength to have the energy to carry you through motherhood and physically, literally carry your children around in doing 20-minute workouts a day. So I have my on-demand workout library. I have a new meal plan that goes live every month with a grocery shopping list, a wellness resource library for all sorts of little tips and tricks. And then I have my virtual community. So it's a community chat. It's a place where you can pop in to get accountability, to share your wins, to ask questions. I'm in the community chat daily. And for me, this has been one of the biggest joys outside of becoming a mom of my life thus far, is cultivating this community for women, because working out can feel super freaking unmotivating to do on your own at home. I mean, let's be real. The laundry's staring at you. The kids are this. We've got a million excuses. But when you have that virtual community there of moms who are all in this similar season of life, who are cheering each other on, who are showing up and choosing themselves first each day, oh, it's like, I literally have goosebumps right now. It's just the most incredible thing. And to see these moms showing up and choosing their health and wellness is amazing. So that membership is called Elevate, and you can go to nataliekschwartz.com/elevate to check out more of that. And I'm Natalie K. Schwartz on Instagram. That is where I hang out and spend my time. So you can see me there. And then my podcast is called Hot Mom Habits. And Cara and I are doing a podcast swap, so you can come hear her on my podcast as well.
Yes. And I mean, this is the idea, right? Collaborating together as moms, collaborating together as mompreneurs. This is how we expand the world and get each other feeling really lifted up and supported. So I'm really grateful that we had the opportunity to do this. I hope a lot of people go follow you, go and check you out, and keep on doing your mini workouts on Instagram. And that so far is as far as I've gotten.
Thank you so much.
I hope you are enjoying our back to school mini series that will run all through the month of August and the beginning of September. Topics that are relevant to where you are and what your kids are going through right now as you start full-time daycare programs, preschool enrollments, and even those first few days of kindergarten. Please take a moment and scroll down, rate and review the show. Let people know what you love about it, and leave me a note of an episode topic you would love to see me record. Until next time, stay mindful and proactive as we raise school-ready kids who will change the world.